Most people assume overachievers were always confident, always driven, always built that way. But a lot of them were the most ignored kids in the room. This isn't a feel-good story. This is psychology. And it's happening to millions of people, maybe even you. Picture a child who never got much attention at home. Not abused, not starved, just overlooked. Their achievements met with silence. Their feelings, too inconvenient. Their presence, easily forgotten. So what does that child do? They adapt. They get really good at earning what was never freely given. Let's be clear about something first. This isn't a story about dramatic abuse, not cruelty, not parents who didn't try. Sometimes the most damaging neglect is the kind nobody notices. It's the parent who is physically present but emotionally elsewhere. The child who runs in with a drawing, excited, proud, bursting, and the parent glances up for half a second before looking back at the screen. The feelings never asked about. The achievements acknowledged with a nod instead of a moment. The child who learned, slowly, without anyone telling them that their inner world was not particularly interesting to anyone outside of it. Psychologists call this emotional neglect. And unlike physical neglect, it leaves no visible marks. Just a quiet belief that forms like sediment settling at the bottom of water. My needs are a burden. I am too much. Or maybe not enough. Either way, I should not ask. And when a child learns that asking doesn't lead to connection, they stop expecting consistent emotional responses altogether. Psychologists call this an anxious attachment style, a term coined by John Bowlby in the 1960s. When a child can't predict whether love is coming, they don't relax, they perform. They learn early, I am not enough as I am. I must become enough. And here's where it gets fascinating. That wound becomes an engine. Alfred Adler, one of Freud's inner circle, called it compensation. The idea that humans instinctively build strength precisely at their points of pain. The child who was never noticed becomes obsessed with being impossible to ignore. But here's the part that gets overlooked. It's not that these kids suddenly find confidence. It's that they find a discovery. One day, maybe in a classroom, maybe on a sports field, they win something. Or finish first. Or get called on and have the right answer. And for the first time, the room responds. People look up. Someone says their name like it matters. And the child thinks, not in words, but in feeling. So that's the door. That's how you get in. From that moment on, achievement isn't just ambition. It's the only language they found that got a response. This isn't rare. It's almost a pattern. Oprah Winfrey, raised in poverty, shuffled between relatives, largely neglected, built a media empire. Elon Musk, by his own words, felt invisible and bullied as a child, is now literally trying to colonize Mars. Coincidence or compensation? A 2021 study published in the Journal of Personality found that children with emotionally unavailable parents scored significantly higher in achievement motivation, the internal drive to succeed, than those with consistently attentive parents. The aha moment? Neglect, in some cases, doesn't break ambition. It births it. But here's the part we skip in the inspirational posts. The overachiever wins the award and feels nothing. They get the promotion and immediately look for the next one. They build the business and wonder why it still doesn't feel like enough. Not for a day, not for a week, just the win lands and then it's already gone. Like pouring water into a glass with no bottom. Because here's the brutal truth. They were never chasing success. They were chasing the moment a parent finally looked up and said, I see you. And no trophy gives you that. No promotion, no standing ovation, no follower count. Psychotherapist John Bradshaw called this the hungry ghost, the person who keeps consuming achievement because the original hunger was never fed. The hunger was never for success. It was for something that was supposed to be free. Understanding why you overachieve doesn't make you stop achieving. It makes you choose it instead of being chased by it. There's a difference between building a life and running from a wound. The most powerful moment isn't when you get the standing ovation. It's when you finally believe you deserved it, not because you earned it, but because you simply exist. So if you've always needed to be the best, the busiest, the most accomplished in the room, ask yourself just one question. Am I building something, or am I still trying to be seen? Because you were worth seeing all along. You just needed someone to tell you sooner.